Coming up on today's episode.
The only work you need to do is nothing. And then I legit pause and I'm like, yo, in your past relationships, this is what you've always done. You've always tried to push, push, push when things are not moving forward on its own, or there's no effort from the other person. Why don't we just step back and see? I stepped back and saw in this relationship, and what I saw was the end. Hi, this is Notes with Nomfundo. Let's talk about rhythm, the one you don't see but always feel. I want to wrap up the chat about seasons and rhythms from our last episode. So, some of you aren't stuck, you just think you're moving wrong. You're acting like you're somewhere when you're not, and it's kind of why things feel off. Think about it like this: you might be in a time where reflection and observation are key, and growth is very, very quiet. Learning is happening, but you can't see it yet. And instead of honoring that, you're pushing for results. You're moving like you need everything done like yesterday. You feel like you're failing, but you're not. You're out of rhythm. Another simple example: you know, a situation or relationship is coming to an end. You can feel it. You sense the shift, but yet you keep trying to fix it. You're texting, over explaining, revisiting old arguments, trying to reignite the flame, holding on to what's already done, what's already gone. And then you ask yourself why you feel so drained. Why are you even putting all this effort? It's not because you're weak, it's because you're resisting the natural flow. You're putting energy into something that's already done. Or maybe this example will hit home. You might be in a quiet building phase. Internally, things are growing. You're learning, observing, strengthening yourself. However, externally, nothing seems to be happening. Nothing's moving in your life externally. And suddenly, doubt creeps in. You compare yourself to others, you rush, more importantly, you panic. But in doing that, you interrupt your own process. This is something that I went through where I think I was in my mid 20s, 25, where I was working on myself internally because I knew I had triggers. This is why I wasn't good in a relationship. But that over time, I started comparing myself to the self-help how-tos on the YouTubes. And I started thinking, am I even making any progress whatsoever? So I understand that feeling completely. I interrupted my own process by doing that comparison. The very thing I meant to cultivate quietly gets stalled because I didn't honor the rhythm at that moment. So, even in work life or daily life, it shows up. Maybe you're learning a new skill. Every day you practice, small improvements, nothing flashy. You look at your colleagues and you think, why am I not further along like this person? Or maybe you're trying to build a new relationship. This always happens. You're careful, intentional, aware of your triggers, but nothing seems to click fast enough. So you overanalyze, you push, you force, you move out of rhythm. And here's the tricky part: every part of your life has its own rhythm, as we said in the last episode. Your relationships might feel paused while your career is moving fast, even at that. Your creative projects might feel stuck while your personal growth is exploding. Your friendships might be shifting while your finances are steady. If you try and make every part happen at once or be on the same page, everything feels off. But if you honor each rhythm individually, life flows, and understand that life flows differently. Something as small as daily energy shows it. You wake up stressed, rushed, anxious. Suddenly you feel everything is wrong. People feel off. Work feels heavy. Your environment feels naughty. Did I say naughty? Your environment feels noisy. Hold on. But slow down. Notice, adjust, even slightly. That pause alone begins your realignment. Sometimes the only work you need to do is nothing. Not forcing, not fixing, not even overthinking, which is something, oh my word, I am like the leader of the overthinkers, but just notice and allow things to unfold in their own time. Here's a real life example. A friend of mine kept trying to revive a relationship that was clearly done. Every call, every message, every attempt to fix in inverted commas is left them drained. And when they finally stepped back, not giving up to honor the rhythm of the situation, clarity came, space opened, and what felt stuck started moving naturally towards it ending. And in all honesty, there is no friend. I am that friend. I was dating someone and I noticed that they were pulling away. Not pulling away, but they were not showing up in the relationship anymore. And in that moment, I kept trying to push, and then nothing was happening. I tried to push again, and then nothing was happening. And then I legit paused and I'm like, yo, in your past relationships, this is what you've always done. You've always tried to push, push, push when things are not moving forward on its own or there's no effort from the other person. Why don't we just step back and see? I stepped back and saw in this relationship, and what I saw was the end. It's funny now, but it's funny now because I'm looking at it objectively, but it's like something clicked in me where I was like, no, we're repeating the same pattern. And that pattern was something that felt draining and annoying to me back then with all those previous partners where I kept pushing, pushing. How's about now we just try and take a different route and actually take a step back and see what the situation is for what it is? Does that make sense? And in doing that, I saw that, okay, this is the end. Stop trying to push for more. Stop trying to fix what doesn't need to be fixed. Not everything needs to be fixed. Life doesn't always move on your schedule, but it moves. And you can either fight it or flow with it. So, questions you should ask yourself when life feels off. Am I acting out of rhythm? Am I forcing, rushing, or holding on because I don't like how this moment feels? Because we all hate being in uncomfortable situations or uncomfortable feelings. Or am I moving in a way that actually matches what's happening internally and externally right now? Because what's happening internally is reflected externally. Because when you move in alignment with your rhythm, your decisions make more sense. Your energy feels lighter, things stop feeling forced, and even chaos starts to make sense in the bigger picture. Life's rhythm is always giving you feedback. The more you notice it, the more you can work with it instead of against it. Not everything needs a solution. Literally, not everything needs a solution. Not everything needs action. Sometimes it's just awareness itself that's needed. The simple act of noticing where you are and moving accordingly. This is Notes with Nomfundo. Sit with that. Honor your rhythm, flow with it, not against it.